Well, welcome everybody to IAG Trade Talk. We're here at Galaxy Macau, and it's a great pleasure to have Mr. Scott Kreeger, who is Director of New Development for Galaxy Entertainment Group. Scott, it's a pleasure to have you.
Likewise, thank you for the opportunity.
GICC, the Convention Centre, must be a very exciting time, Phase 3, and rolling a new product out. Can you give us just a bit of a progress update of where the Convention Centre's at?
Yeah, so we're hoping to open in the latter part of this year with the conference center and the arena. And as you mentioned, it's in our third phase of development, and we have one of the largest undeveloped land bank parcels remaining in Macau. And our future growth will eventually get us to 14 internationally known luxury hotel brands with the addition of Phase 4. And so for us, having a conference center and an arena that's an integrated product is a natural complement to our overall precinct. And so we're really excited to bring it online.
And what will that add to the Galaxy Macau offering? I mean, it's been something that's been, I guess, dominated by one of your competitors, and now you're being able to bring that on board. You know, what will that add to the total offering that you'll be able to give your customers?
That's a great question. So I think, first of all, take a step back and say, what does it add to Macau? And the overall lift of visitation into the destination. So we start there in collaboration with the SAR, and their goal is to become a world leader in leisure and travel. So we're aligned with that 5-year goal, and we think that our product complements that. So as you mentioned, new product in the market hasn't come online in quite a while at this scale. So what we tried to do is create something that was in line with what we do at Galaxy Macau. And at the same time, what are the new MICE customers of the next era looking for in a facility? So we have a mantra when we created the initial planning for the venue is to be the most iconic and technologically advanced center in Asia. So I'm happy to report that we're well on our way of accomplishing that. So when we talk about iconic nature of the venue, much like in our style at Galaxy Macau, the design of the facility is unparalleled. Just a gorgeous facility, and it's designed more along the lines of a resort destination or a resort hotel banquet type of a style than it is an expo center or these types of things, and that's in keeping with our customer base and what we provide here. And so it's an absolutely stunning and iconic design. But design's only one part of it. It has to be functional, flexible, and it has to work. So we have the arena, which holds up to 16,000 people, but it also flexes all the way down to 5,000. So any matter of event, whether it's boxing, international concerts, live entertainment, we can accommodate that. And additionally, we have 40,000 square meters of mixed conference space. So we have large expo, and our largest area is 10,000 square meters of pillarless floor for large exhibitions. And then we can go all the way down to small meeting rooms and breakouts for corporate events and these types of things. But I think the important thing is integration. So not only is the facility integrated, because right on top of it we have a 720 key Andaz hotel, which is a luxury product from Hyatt. And that integration is so tight that you literally can come from your room down the elevator to your conference floor and conduct your meeting and go back up. So there's the adjacencies and the products that are encompassed in the facility makes it really, really easy for the meeting organizer or the attendee to be at a meeting. And then secondly, it complements what we're doing at Galaxy Macau with the restaurant products. We have over 200 restaurants, we have over 400 retail shops, the movie theaters, and the luxury hotel brands. So all of it works together to create a unique product that you don't see in many cities. You know, maybe Las Vegas is the only other place that you'll see such integrated amenitization. And I think that that's important not only for Galaxy, but it's important for Macau because it has all of these tool sets. it really does allow Macau to be a premier destination in the region, if not the world.
So Scott, you said there about having a bit of a resort feel to the MICE facility. If someone was here on the weekend enjoying Galaxy Macau as a leisure customer and they wandered into the convention centre, might they feel it's very much part of the same kind of leisure offering? Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think that one, it's not outside of our scope of programming to have public-facing events there. So entertainment expos, and like I mentioned before, live entertainment is really a broad-based offering where you are going to have leisure customers going in there for these events. And then I think the other thing that's important is that anymore, a conventioneer doesn't come to a convention for a dry experience. They come, we call it bleisure, you know. And so a lot of the participation in successful events hinges on what else is there to do. Not only as an organizer so that I can keep my attendees interested, but also as an attendee, what do I do at night? And so when you talk about Galaxy as an integrated resort, and you can go do your business during the day and have the offerings of all of the amenities that we'll have on the precinct, whether it's nightlife, restaurants, retail, luxury hotels, it really creates that full package which organizers and attendees are looking for.
So how do you feel as Macau has fared as a MICE destination over the last 10 or 15 years? I mean, we've seen these huge integrated resorts rise up out of the ground, particularly here in Cotai over that last 10 to 15 years, but yet people highlight infrastructure issues. You know, sometimes people say Macau is hard to get to, or there are various other issues to do with infrastructure that make Macau perhaps at a disadvantage to its competitors. How do you think Macau has done with infrastructure in the past, and what's your view on how that will pan out in the future?
Yeah, great question. And everybody talks about it a lot here in the industry. I will tell you that I think that, one, we've come a long ways. And when I look at the trajectory, I'm very excited. And I worked in Las Vegas for 35 years. I saw MICE become a very prevalent part of the business segment of Las Vegas over that 20-year cycle. And when I look at Macau, first of all, you have to start with some key components. Logistics, how easy is it to get here? If you look at the improvements in transportation and logistics, it's amazing. Not only do we have the bridge now, the Hong Kong, Zhuhai, Macau bridge, where in 45 minutes you can go from the Hong Kong airport to the door here, over the largest overwater bridge in the world. Secondly, now because of that triangulation, we have 3 international airports that have over 200 destinations internationally that can come into the region. And then even in Macau itself, the opening of the tram and the continued expansion of that, even on the ground, these things are improving greatly. So that's one piece, the logistics. Secondly, is it an attractive place to come to? So Macau actually is one of the top UNESCO heritage sites in the world, with I believe over 20 UNESCO heritage recognized, and the culture, the food culture of Macau, the historical east meets west of the culture really makes Macau a unique destination from an attraction standpoint. And then if you don't have cooperation with the government, a lot of that's going to fall flat, which I can say that the Macau government through MGTO and EPIM actually do have great programs. Not only do they have incentive programs that make it more affordable to do MICE in Macau, but they also work with us very closely, hand in hand, to continue to grow Macau as a destination of choice.
So Scott, who do you see as your competition in the area? I mean, regionally you've got Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan is trying to create a MICE industry now with what it's doing with its IR industry. Who do you see as your competition? How do you approach that?
Yeah, it's changing, obviously, with COVID. So I think everybody has a much more fluid idea of who their customer is and where they are. But as you move back to normalcy, you know, it'll start locally, grow regionally, and then end up being back to an international kind of broad-ranging MICE opportunity. But for us, when you look at the Greater Bay Area and what's going on in the Greater Bay Area and the population base and the dynamic nature of business, whether it's the Belt and Road project or just the general infrastructure and improvement of the economic markets in the surrounding area, this is our core target demographic, and Greater China. But we don't also not pay attention to Asia Pac in general. So whether it's Japan or Taiwan or some of these areas where we'll also reach into as well. But primarily we're looking in our general region.
You mentioned COVID there in that answer, and I don't think you're allowed to have an interview these days without asking something about COVID.
Yeah,
it's just completely taken over our world. How has that changed? I mean, we're seeing all these online events. People are talking about hybrid events as we come back. How do you, as a MICE professional, see all that impacting? And of course, the GICC was designed long before we had this calamitous event. So what are your comments on that?
It's interesting. I don't profess to be a person that can look into the future and chart the course of where the COVID situation will start to free up. And so really what I look at it as is being nimble and being able to do business in a very fluid and changeable environment. So what is normal course today may not be normal course 2 months from now. So when you look at some of those things, for me, PPE and site safety is a prerequisite now. So 6 months ago, PPE and site safety was something that was, an attractive feature. Now it's a ticket to entry. So when you look at these things, you have to say, not only what do we need to do in our facilities to accommodate for this, but you have to look deeper into what our customers going to want coming out of this. So for an example, hybrid events. To my view, hybrid events are now a normal state. What will those hybrid events do over time? No one really knows yet. How prevalent will they? How much will they stay? How much will they fade off? But hybrid events are a ticket to entry situation as well. What I look at into the future is, if people haven't been able to travel for a year and a half or 2 years, then what interest do they have in coming to our facility? How has that changed because of COVID? And these are the types of things that we try to get ourselves ahead of the game so that we can offer these things to our guests and really know our customer and what their preferences are.
I think you're very wise not to try and crystal ball gaze, because we've
all
been
very,
doing that
very difficult to do.
18 months and doing a very bad job of it. So being nimble is the way to go. So in that vein, where are you focusing your opening? Not long until you're opening.
Yeah.
Where are you focusing your initial marketing efforts for the next little period of time? What kind of events could we perhaps see here? What are you guys kind of chasing in terms of business? Yeah,
it's another good question. So first of all, I want to mention that we have quite a robust MICE business today in Galaxy Phase 1 and 2. So we have several hotels that have very attractive meeting space. So we're in the business. This is just the next step. So today, where are we at? Typically, it's within the Macau market and the general regional areas. As border and immigration policies loosen, we're taking advantage of that. But we are starting to move into China quite aggressively, so that's good. We have our sales team up in our general area and as far as Beijing and Shanghai. So we are starting to see that. And we're staying really close with EPIM and Macau, or EPIM and MGTO. And it's important for us to work as a team. And I think that's the other thing. In times like this, everybody has to come together to support the overall destination, not just their specific property or venue. And I think everybody's doing a really nice job of that in Macau. And I think the Macau government's doing a really nice job of getting Macau out there, especially up into Greater China. So we're going along for the ride on that, as well as having our own strategic sales initiatives. So what we see probably in the next year is greater emphasis in mainland China. because of the ease of travel between those two destinations. And we're actually seeing quite a bit of pickup. So we're encouraged about where the next 6 months go, but you also have to be a bit cautious that you don't get too ahead of yourself, and that you overcommit for what the conditions are, because as we said earlier, it's really difficult to understand what the next 6 months to a year really will be.
So Scott, a man of your experience in Las Vegas, it would be remiss of me not to ask a little about Las Vegas. I mean, what can we learn from places like Las Vegas, which has a very mature MICE industry, or indeed other places around the world with strong MICE industries? Of course, Macau is different, and we're in China. China is different, but I'm sure there are still lessons that we can learn.
I think the first thing to learn is that a MICE customer is a high-value customer. And to really embrace the fact that the visitation of a MICE customer has an exponential amount on overall spending in the travel and tour segment. And so that's well documented and well researched. And so I think as we see more and more MICE activity in Macau, I think that the operators will start to value the profitability of those customers more and more. I think that's the first thing. And as we bring on new venues like our GICC, Galaxy International Conference Center, we're going to learn more about what these groups need in order to be here, what brings them here, what's attractive about it. And I think the other piece is we'll learn how to use our integrated resorts better for this MICE customer, and to leverage integrated resorts to further strengthen the appeal of Macau for MICE people.
It might be a little bit early, but can I press you a little bit? Can you tell us of like any big concerts that might be coming, or any names you can share with the IAG readership?
I can guarantee you that there's a concert coming.
Perhaps we will get the scoop from you a little bit.
No, I think it's a little early. We are actively in the entertainment business now. So we have a smaller venue, about 2,500 seats at Broadway Theater, and we do run entertainment there. But a 16,000 seat world-class arena, one of the largest in the region, is a whole new level for our company. We're really excited about it, and I can guarantee you that the entertainment that you will find out that we're bringing in is definitely on par with what Galaxy does always whenever they have an offering to the customer, and it'll be top class.
I'm sure we'll see lots of Chinese pop stars and K-pop stars and stuff. Any chance of boxing, MMA, that kind of thing?
Look, I think it starts with the customer first. What does our core customer see as value in entertainment? And I think entertainment in Macau is maturing as well. And I actually see the arena doing a lot for Macau in general to make entertainment a legitimate piece of the overall economic pie for these integrated resorts. And so we'll start with the customer first, because it's always the right place to start, and we'll program according to our core customer, but nothing's off the table. So our arena is highly flexible. It can do sporting events, basketball, world tour concerts, you name it. We can do it with style and purpose there. So we're pretty excited to get started.
So we've talked a lot about MICE facilities and GICC, but Scott, you're also in charge of Phase 3 and Phase 4, and there's obviously a huge footprint here at Galaxy Macau. Phase 1 and Phase 2 are massive, and by the time you've got Phase 3 and Phase 4, we are very big integrated resort indeed. A little different to the operators who've gone for multiple integrated resorts. Galaxy's chosen to put all together as one enormous facility. With this big footprint, Phase 1 and Phase 2 now done, Phase 3 and Phase 4, when that's ended, what can you tell us about what it's going to look like at the end of Phase 3 and Phase 4?
Yeah, I can kind of go around the edges a bit on it. And I think fundamentally, we are very proud of our 10 years here with Galaxy Macau 1 and 2. We feel like our core business philosophy is the right philosophy for our customers, and it really starts with our Asian heart philosophy with our team members. And then it goes into the hardware of of what is the DNA of Galaxy Macau Phase 1 and 2. We're not looking to completely reinvent the wheel. We're looking to take what we know as a successful footprint or business philosophy and to enhance it. So first of all, from a general approach, we want to bring our customers on the same Galaxy Macau Asian Heart journey that we've been on for 10 years and just take it into the next 10 to 20 years. And, you know, obviously contemporize it, bring it of age, understanding the changing preferences of our customer base and catering to those folks. But in its essence, it's going to be more of what's great about Galaxy Macau into probably the largest integrated resort footprint in the world. And probably the biggest piece of that is 14 of the best international hotel brands at the highest luxury level anywhere in the world, which is a huge accomplishment for the company. We're super excited about it. We believe that having individual brands throughout the precinct give our customers an opportunity to experience something new every time they come. And we think that that brings them back again and again so that they can explore Galaxy as a precinct multiple times and get a different experience each time.
Scott Kreeger, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, appreciate it.